Well, hello, good morning and welcome to Camilla and I. And today we're making a video I didn't expect to make, or at least I didn't expect to make it quite so soon. And that is the introduction to and my initial use of the Sony 300mm f2.8. Absolutely amazing. So we just got this beauty literally on Friday, and already we've captured some great images using this lens. So So hopefully you've watched my recent video, a shoot off with Jonathan Hodgett's. Absolutely amazing, where I was using the 500mm brand new Sigma f5.6 lens, and Jonathan was using the brand new 300mm Sony with teleconverters. Anyway, he absolutely blew me away. I was destroyed by the Sony 300mm with teleconverters, and I hadn't anticipated. I thought when I originally reviewed the 300mm I would have no use for this lens, because I had so many ways to get to 300mm. We've got the 70 to 200, for example, and 1.4 converter takes us to f4 280mm. Also we have the excellent GM glass, the 100 to 400, which again takes us to 300mm, no problem at all. But what I hadn't anticipated is, yes, it's all very well getting to 300mm with an f2.8, beautiful. But what we hadn't anticipated was the use of the 300mm with teleconverters. Straight away this morning, I've put the 2x teleconverter on, taking me to an excellent 600mm f5.6 lens. And this setup, although I've got it on a little gimbal here, this setup weighs 6.5 pounds or 2.9 kilos roundabout, and it's so much lighter than the 600mm f4. I mean, the 600mm f4 weighs in at over 3 kilos, just over 3 kilos, whereas this lens on its own is half that weight at 1470 grams. So a tremendous size and weight difference, and it's far more flexible in the field to carry this around than it is the 600, and it's far easier to pick off subjects in flight, etc. Yeah, so anyway, not only that, but of course Sony also put a spanner in the works of the Sigma 500, limiting the frame rate to 15 frames per second with the Sony A1, and with this combination I get the full 30 frames per second out of the Sony A1. And of course the autofocus on this is every bit as good with teleconverters as the Sigma. Indeed, I would guess at the moment, my initial use, I would say that it's 90% as efficient as the 300 f2.8 with a 2x teleconverter on it, because it's such a shallow, it's such a small linear motor drive to get it in focus, even with a teleconverter on. Obviously you've got less light coming in at f5.6, but it's still amazingly fast autofocus. And although it's amazingly fast autofocus, you still have to have it set correctly, because would you believe it, that damn cuckoo from Stuart James and mine's video from here, Fishlake Meadow, it flew close again. In fact, two of them did. But again, I was using the A1 obviously with the 2x converter, but I was set for the warblers in the reeds, and I'd set expand flexible spot to pick out the warblers in the reed, as they came in. Anyway, needless to say, I was talking to you and the cuckoo flew overhead yet again. Anyway, now this is the A1, and despite the fact I was in expand flexible spot and I think I was on 1/2000th of a second, I probably would have liked to have been 1/3200th, but I think I still got a frame of the cuckoo in focus. Only one out of 15, but I was all over the place. So yeah, caught out again by that darn cuckoo. Anyway, I think we've got one frame that I can show you now. That's the advantage of this camera. I would have got no frames on that setting with any other camera, I would suggest, in any other combination. Also 600mm, you've really got to track your subject in, because it's difficult just to grab it out of thin air. And anyway, I think we grabbed one out of thin air, but we'll see. I think the eye's in focus, but it's a strange angle. Hopefully we'll get another pass, and I have put zone on for now while I'm talking to you. So amazing. Doesn't matter, best camera in the world, best lens in the world, irrelevant. Camera skill comes into play. Amazing. Right, anyway, back to the review. So yesterday I took this combination out on one of my favourite subjects at this time of year, which is terns and redshanks, and had an absolutely wonderful session at Pennington Marshes with this combination. And I used all three options. I had the straight 300mm f2.8, which, let's face it, that is something else. If you're close to your subject and all you need is 6x 50mm magnification, oh, what a lens. So sharp, so fast, so accurate, unbelievable. No wonder the photographers are lining up to use this combination with the A9 III for the Olympics. Unbelievable, absolutely incredible, insane detail. And fortunately, I had redshanks coming right onto the posts and performing their little mating songs. Absolutely superb. The best pre-mating action I've got of the redshank. Also, we got avocets as well, another beautiful bird, one of our most elegant wading birds here in the UK, and I got some gorgeous shots of that with all the combinations. I believe I got I used a lens. I think I could show 3 different redshank on a post shots using the 1.4 2x and just the straight 300. And I think you'll see they're absolutely incredible. All of them are very sharp, and all you can see really is a difference in depth of field. So that's the thing to look out for if you're trying to pick out which one's which. There is a slight loss of quality, I'd say, in the 2x, but it's really not noticeable. And yeah, I've already blown up a couple of prints, so yeah, quite amazing. Anyway, I'll show you those. Beautiful. So yeah, already taken some fantastic shots. 3,000 shots yesterday with this combination. Absolutely amazing, and some great results. So although I've only used it for the weekend, so far we have been absolutely amazed. Anyway, yeah, we're back to Fishlake Meadows in Romsey, because this is where I would have come first of all, scouting the area out with this combination, the 300 and the Teleconverters. Because of the lightweight nature of it, you've just got the camera to hand and instant flexibility. So yeah, that's why this is the combination we're using today for sure. And this would be my go-to combination now. So there's nothing wrong with the 500 Sigma 5.6 at all. It is a superb, very good lens, and obviously it sits in a certain budget, and I would recommend that as a fixed focal length lens for a bit of reach, certainly to start with, if you can't go to the budget of the Sony 300mm f2.8. Unbelievable. But it is the lightweight nature and compactness of this lens that's particularly initially appealed to us on Camilla and I. Absolutely amazing. So we'll see. Now already today, just I haven't made it very far. I've only made it halfway to the blind. In fact, probably a bit of a mistake making this video on the main path. Already met a number of people and followers of Camilla and I. Already today I've got this Treecreeper, absolutely amazing. Got some lovely action of the pair basically in their nest position and feeding the nest. Amazing. So I've already got some great shots of the Treecreepers and some beautiful video. So yeah, I'll play that now. And I also got a picture of a reed warbler with a green caterpillar. But even with the best equipment, it still skill comes into play. And for example, had a reed warbler with a green caterpillar. Beautiful. It went and bashed the green caterpillar on the head on a fence post about 20 yards away. Anyway, I was capturing this action, I thought, on this combination, but unfortunately there was a twig between myself and the subject, and of course the autofocus is so good, expand flexible spot, but it went for that twig and not for the bird with the beautiful green caterpillar. So I thought I got it then, and I thought I got it just before it delivered it to the nest, but no, I missed on both occasions. So even with the best equipment, you're still going to miss. So yeah, bear that in mind. Don't get this sort of gear until you've used other equipment first. Skill still plays a part. Yeah, skill still comes into wildlife photography. Thank goodness for that. It's not all easy these days. So yeah, no pre-capture on the Sony A1 either. But yeah, the A9 III in good light must be pretty amazing combination. So anyway, we're not buying the A9 III. You'll be glad to know on Camilla and I. We are actually going to wait for the A1 Mark II, which I believe is coming possibly late 2025. But who knows? There have been a number of delays, sensors and everything else at the moment. So anyway, yeah, it's still 30 frames per second with this combination, and yeah, it's been amazing so far. Initial thoughts on the 300mm is wow, what a lens, and yeah, what a combination, the A1 or the A9 III. But yeah, I've still got to get used to it. Obviously I've already demonstrated to myself well, I'm making this video at the same time, so you expect mistakes. Well, that's my excuse, but I'm still getting used even to where the direct manual focus override is on the lens barrel. I mean, it's brilliantly located, actually, it's superb. But when you first use the lens, obviously you don't know. So anyway, my first thoughts with this lens are amazing, absolutely amazing. Probably the fastest and best and most flexible fixed length lens I've ever owned. Incredible. Anyway, hopefully I'll be able to drag Jonathan Hodgetts again. along to give me his more long-term review of the 300mm, and I'll make a better review of the 300mm in due course. Obviously we've only just got it, so although I did play with his for 10 minutes, and I have now used this for a couple of days now. These are still provisional views, and yeah, to be done a video in detail in the future on the 300, but this is just a taster of what to expect. And to be honest, boy, if this is a taster of what I expect from this lens, whew, blown away. Absolutely amazing. Anyway, have a good one. Bye for now from Camilla and I and the new lens. Nice.